Well, that's 70 minutes of threshold work done for the day. Back from the wilderness, ready to do some marathon training. No, actually, I've already been doing some marathon training. I'm 3 weeks in, or 2.5 weeks into the Amsterdam Marathon training block. Weeks 1 and 2 were definitely a bit ropey. Week 1 was feeling pretty under the weather. Week 2 I spent 5 days visiting friends and family in the UK, and my grandmother, she lives in a village of basically a 1 kilometre loop in the middle of nowhere, and all roads out were like a mountain, especially compared to here in Amsterdam. So I didn't get a lot of running done. The idea was to hit around 130 to 140 kilometres, get some big volume back in the legs, but I ended up at around 120 kilometres. But it's not a disastrous start, but now into week 3 and we definitely need to push it on. So week 3 is where all the magic happens. No, not quite. I wish it was that easy, but the volume is definitely going up and we've got 145 kilometres planned for the week. Today is all about double threshold, 2 sessions in 1 day, accumulating a large amount of volume at threshold. In the morning, I'm going to be working at LT1 or around 2.5 hour race pace, and then in the afternoon / evening, I need to go around 5 o'clock because I know that there's an athletics group there at 7. It's probably going to be hot, but worry about that later. In that session, I'm going to be working at between LT1 and LT2. So it's all about keeping the intensity right, and I'll do that by using heart rate. In the morning session, I'll set a limiter on what heart rate I can get up to, and in the afternoon, also the same, but I'll get into that when I get down to the track. But the idea is to not generate or spike fatigue too much that it's just going to take days to recover from. Session today, 5 sets of 8 minutes off 2 minutes rest. It's not about testing where you're at fitness wise or running as fast as you can. It's just about controlled lactate accumulation and keeping it controlled, especially when you've got a double session so that you don't ruin the second one. Now I do that by keeping my max heart rate at 160 for the morning session. The pace will be what it'll be, I can't change that. It's already quite hot, so I will be getting pretty much straight into the session because I normally start pretty slow. The idea is to hit heart rate at around 152 in the first rep and then gradually build up from there, but depending on the weather or if I push it a bit too hard, then it might creep up above that. But I'll probably start at around 3:55, 4 minutes per kilometre for the first one. Last 30 seconds, first lap, heart rate 153, pace 354, so pretty controlled, how I would like the first one to be. Last 15 seconds. Good thing about doing it to heart rate is you can just forget about the pace. Pace is going to be what it's going to be. When it's hot like this, it just makes life easier. First session done, 5 by 8 minutes, 2 minutes rest. Hit the effort pretty much perfect. First rep, heart rate 152. Did creep up a bit to the end, probably like 161, 162. Average pace, I'm going to guess around 3:55. I'm going to put it on the screen. And now got around 6 hours for the next session, so I'm not a professional athlete, so doing nothing is not an option. But if you don't get these 6 to 8 hours right between the 2 sessions, then the second one's just going to be a drag. Trust me, I've been there. Either not eating enough or just being on my feet too much between the two sessions. And that gets on to the eating. Eating is the key for me. 15 minutes after getting in from the session, it takes around 15 minutes for me to run back from the track, and then I'm eating something straight away. And after that, I'm having another large meal around an hour or two later before I go back out in the evening. If the evening sessions, say 8 hours later, then I'm probably going to have another snack a couple of hours before, just because running out of energy at the track on your second session really is one of the worst feelings. And for the rest, I just pretend I'm not doing intervals later in the day, which I've just reminded myself that I am. But seriously, if you've got a really busy day, I wouldn't recommend trying to do a high volume double interval session like this. I do think doing 2 interval sessions in a day is possible, but then if I was working at the office, I would definitely keep one of them shorter, if not both. Back at the track, second session of the day, 6 by 5 minutes of 90 seconds recovery, shorter intervals of shorter recovery, trying to build the aerobic base, keeping the recovery shorter to keep some pressure on the system, which I believe is an area of weakness for me. Normally I would do shorter intervals that are quicker in the evening, but we're going for a big volume day, so let's get into it.
Keep the funk. 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 Keep the funk.
Still not sure I'm looking forward to it, but
Keep the funk.
one thing that I'm looking forward to is this.
Keep the funk. Keep the funk. Keep the funk.
Never gets boring in the summer. First one done. Let the heart rate get a little bit too high, but yeah, overall not bad.
Keep the funk. Keep the funk. Keep the funk. Keep the
Well, that's 70 minutes of threshold work done for the day. Kept it nice and controlled so the legs don't feel too heavy, but now time to get home and relax. 1.5 kilometre cool down done. Didn't really say anything about the session, but it went pretty well, I think, better than I thought. And I'm going to guess the average for the 5 minutes was 3:33. Put it up again on the screen, might be wrong. And the aim was to not go over heart rate 163, and I pretty much stayed there. I got to 164 briefly in the last couple, but then it went back down again. So overall, really good. Marathon training can consume your life if you let it, and in the past I have done that, and every time I have, it just led to being overtrained and burnt out. And that's something I'm not willing to do this time. Today I'm going to Dekmantel Festival. Now, I'm not saying that's the best way to recover, but it's something I love to do, and for my mental well-being or mental reset, then it's something that I need to do. But first, I'm just out doing 12 kilometers easy, and then got some hill sprints still to do, and then yeah, off we go. Enjoy some electronic music. Music, here we go.
Found it. Try and cycle back from here when you've been in a festival of the fucking right.
So week 3 complete. How did it go? Well, I did 152 kilometers and I had 145 kilometers planned. I actually have no idea how I ended up at 152. Normally on a Sunday, I would check to see how many kilometers I've done and then maybe adjust, but I didn't do that Sunday morning, and then when I've checked how much I've actually done, it was over, but no big issue. Feeling pretty good. And then I spent 13 hours running in total, and out of that I did 80 minutes of interval work. I also include the rest periods, so in total that was 17% of the week, including then 2 gym sessions of 30 minutes. I did 1 strength session and 1 plyometric session. That's quite normal for my week. And then including a day of dancing and walking around at a festival. But overall the legs felt pretty good. There was no real point in the week where I felt too tired, so I think it was a manageable amount. And going into next week, we're just looking to replicate a similar amount of volume. And next week I've got a friend visiting, or he's in Amsterdam, who I met in Kenya, and we're going to be doing a long run together on the Sunday. So I'm going to take you along for that one. If you're interested to see how my training goes and how I get on at Amsterdam Marathon, then please give it a subscribe. But other than that, catch you on the next one.